off a little bit ago, and for all of a sudden, some reason, it won't grow back right here. I don't know if it's stress or what the hell's going on. I'm trying to do a comb over.
You know, welfare. You're on welfare, right?
Yeah.
Medical
My general assistant.
You know, they'll fix your teeth for free.
That's where I got it. I mean, that's what I did. That's what did it was through welfare. I actually was trying to get them to pull them all and give me dentures, but they wouldn't do it. They were saying that there's no sense pulling teeth that don't need to be pulled. But
But you can get a partial to fill in.
I have a partial, but I actually have one, but it's just very uncomfortable. And I don't have nobody to impress in life. I'm not going to. I mean, the most important female in my world is my wife, and I don't need to impress her no more.
Tell us about ashes.
Oh my, dude, you guys love to watch me cry, don't you? All right. The mother of my children, her name was Linda, and she passed away. I mean, my sisters and brothers are buried. They're in the ground in these grave things, which I find horrible. But the first one was Linda, and she passed away. And even though I was already married to Julie, I went with my children to take care of the arrangements because nobody was there. And at the time, my daughter was only 17, so I had to be there. I did it. I did what had to be done. I felt it was my responsibility, and I also felt like it was an honor to be able to do so. So I took care of it, and she was cremated. I got the ashes, and I've hung on to the ashes for years and years and years, because, again, my children are wonderful, but they move around, and they're not the most stable things. And one time my daughter had them, and I found them in the garage. That irritated me. I felt that was disrespectful, so I took care of them, and I had them. And my wife did not care, and they were fine. They were right there. My wife had no problem with it. But at this time, they were at my son TJ's because he does have a stable household. He has a wonderful, it should be his wife, but they're not married. Her name is Jessica, and she is a stable, wonderful person, so I know they're safe there. My mother passed away in 2009. I have her ashes. My nephew, Nathan, made a thing where the ashes would fit into, and has a cross, has her name, birthday, death date. It's a real nice thing. Anyway, my brother Jeff passed away. He always made me promise him that I would never bury him because he had a big fear. He had a big fear of that. So I promised I never would. I had him cremated. But because it was through Fort Snelling, they actually had to have something to put into the thing. So my son TJ bought me a little, it looks like a salt shaker, and they filled that with his ashes for me, so I have that. And then they put the rest at Fort Snelling, and I wouldn't even let them put that below ground, so they were above ground too. So I kept my promise to my brother, is not below ground in any way. And those are my ashes, and some people sprinkle them or do whatever they want. I couldn't imagine doing that. They're mine. I go to Elmhurst Cemetery. I can take a 12-pack of beer and go out there and have me a family reunion because that's where all my family is. And which I did for a while, and people started thinking that was getting a little bit carried away, and hey, Dad, that's enough of that. You can't just go drink beer at the cemetery all the time. So haven't done it a whole lot lately. That's it. That's all I got. I have a whole bunch of family. Unfortunately, they can't come visit me. I go visit them. And that's just the way it works. There's not a hell of a lot I can do about it. And I'm not going to go visit them in that way yet. I will eventually, but it won't be by my own hands. And the reason I can say that is I couldn't imagine the anger it would cause, and with my children, but mainly my son TJ. I think that would. It would piss him off.
Tell us about TJ.
He's my first son. He's. There's certain things I can't say because people are going to see this. But he's my first son. I accomplished what my father asked on his deathbed. I carried out my family name. I might be a little bit prejudiced, but I think he's wonderful. I think he's a good father. He gets irritated with me, He'll has no problem putting me in line if I need to be put in line. But he respects me. I'm very good at telling my kids, and I always have and always will, that I love you. A lot of fathers don't do that. I'll tell my kids all the time that I love you. And I call them honey, even though they're 26, 24, and 20. I don't care if they're around their friends or their girlfriends or who they're around. I'll call them honey. And they've just either come to accept it or knowing there's not a goddamn thing they can do about it because it's not going to quit. My 20-year-old son, Travis, still calls me daddy. I take that as a great sign of respect. Not many 20-year-olds will call their father daddy. And he'll do it in front of people. He's not embarrassed about it. And I take that as a great sign of respect. My son TJ calls me Pops, and that's just his name for me. And I know that when he says it, it's with respect in his heart. And if he called me anything else, I would think, what the hell, why are you mad at me?
Well,
and my daughter's always called me daddy. She's daddy's girl. When I had her locked up, and even though she was mad at me, she made me this little plaque that said daddy's girl forever, and I still have it, and I hold it dearly.
What's her nickname?
Duck. Oh, Duck. And, when she was a little girl, little girls pout. And she would pout. And the way she would pout, I nicknamed her Duck. And I've called her Duck ever since. In fact, when she was in jail, I sent her a letter, Dearest to Tanya, a.k.a. Duck. And even the officers teased her and got a kick out of it. So, yeah, she's my Duck. Always will be. I don't care. If I lived to be 98 and she's 67, she'll be my Duck. And she'll still be my little girl. And that's just a given.
Do children have disabilities?
My son Travis did have. When he was younger, he did have disabilities. He was on Social Security, in fact.
Hold on.